Welcome back to the channel and another running training check-in video where I want you to tell me how your week was. Drop it in the comments below. Did you do anything that was out of the ordinary? Did you have just a good training week where you did the ordinary? Whatever it is, I want to know. I want to give you props. I want everyone else watching these videos to give you props. That is the first order of business. Write down last week's training in the comments below. Go. If you're watching this on the day this video was released, yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and an especially big happy Mother's Day to my mum and my wife. So let me just put something up on the screen right now. This is a picture of me and my mum at the 2018 Boston Marathon when the weather was absolutely horrific, and yet she still came out to support me, to stand in the rain as I ran across the finish line, and to give me a ride home after. Pretty top, Mum, thank you. And this next photo is me, my mum, Harmony, my wife, and my daughter Michelle. This is me and Michelle running the New York City Marathon in 2019. And Harmony and my mum were standing on the sidelines on the Upper East Side, ready to scream and clap and celebrate us as we ran by. Mum and Harmony, I love you both. Thanks for everything. Okay, so it was pretty convenient that I was able to throw it back to 2018 at the Boston Marathon with my mum, because we're gonna start off this video. Before I go into my training last week, we're gonna start this video with some Boston Marathon type stuff, because if you didn't know, last week was the week where they announced who was going to be able to run the Boston Marathon, the in-person Boston Marathon, on October 11th this year. And spoiler, I did get in to the 125th running of the Boston Marathon, so if everything just keeps going in the right direction, COVID-wise, I will be in Hopkinton on October 11th, holding a GoPro, trying to capture everything for you guys. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Okay, but this year Boston Marathon, it was different. Okay, so you already know, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you already know that they had reduced the number of participants that are able to run the in-person Boston Marathon. And this is all because of COVID restrictions. They have dropped it to 20,000 people. 20,000 people running the Boston Marathon this year. Obviously, that reduces the number of people that can get in. That really is obvious. So out of those 20,000 people that will be running, 14,609 of them got in with a qualifying time. The other people are charity runners. This is great news because the charity runners, they make a lot of money for their respective charities. And last year was an absolute nightmare for the charities because there were no races. Now, of course, they were able to take in some income because people were still raising money doing their virtual races. It's not the same. If anything, we need to get these races moving again so we can keep raising money for charity. Okay, so you got that. 14,609 people got in by the qualifying time. What does that mean? Well, I think I beat around the bush enough trying to raise the suspense. You know how you have to qualify for the Boston Marathon? Well, get this. This year, 2021, the 125th running of the Boston Marathon, in order to run it, in order to get accepted by the BAA to run the race, you had to beat your Boston Marathon qualifying time by 7 minutes and 47 seconds. Let me just let that soak in for a second. You train, you train, you train. All you want to do is get a BQ so you can go run Boston. And then they tell you, I know I gave you a time that you have to meet in order to run the race, but now you have to beat it by 7 minutes and 47 seconds. That's huge. That is huge. And it's the biggest buffer yet. Buffer isn't the right word. It's the biggest amount of time that you had to beat your qualifying time by yet. So while I've got you on the edge of your seat, let me run through a brief history of the Boston Marathon qualifying times and the times that you've had to beat that time by in order to get into the race. It all started in 2012 when you had to beat the time by 1 minute and 14 seconds. That's not bad. Now, before that, the Boston Marathon actually gave you your qualifying time up to 59 seconds over it. So let's say you had to run a 3 minute and 30 second Boston Marathon qualifying time, you would still get in if you ran 3 hours, 30 minutes and 59 seconds. That changed pretty quickly after they realized that not everyone was getting in. More people are applying, more people are qualifying, got to make changes. In 2013, that was the first year that I ran the Boston Marathon. Everybody that qualified through the times got in. There was nothing over. You didn't have to beat your time by any amount that year. In 2014, you had to beat your time by 1 minute and 38 seconds. In 2015, you had to beat your time by 1 minute and 2 seconds. In 2016, you had to beat your time by 2 minutes and 28 seconds. In 2017, you had to beat your time by 2 minutes and 9 seconds. I didn't run the 2018 Boston Marathon. Okay, so right now we're not getting, it's not too bad. I mean, 2 minutes, it's still unfortunate. People are still missing out even though they've run a BQ, but we're nowhere near that 7 minutes and 47 seconds. In 2018, it was 3 minutes and 23 seconds you had to beat your BQ time by. In 2019, it jumped. It jumped up to 4 minutes and 52 seconds. Now, something happened before the 2020 race. The BAA decided, you know what, this is getting out of control. We're gonna have to make a change. For the 2020 race, they reduced all the times by 5 minutes. Even though they did that, you still had to beat your new BQ time by 1 minute and 39 seconds. Which brings us to 2021. There's a lot of pent up demand. Obviously the 2020 numbers that I just gave you, they don't really mean anything because the 2020 race didn't happen. But all that pent up demand has made it a nightmare for people. Honestly, feel really bad because get this, 9,215 people that got a BQ. They put in the work, they put it down, they got a BQ. 9,215 people did not get into the race. I don't know, sad, it's really sad. Everybody that entered this year had to pay an additional $25 fee in order to mitigate the COVID costs that the BAA has incurred in order to make all their safety measures to help them make the race as safe as possible. Now, a few things have changed for the 2021 race. Before the race, all the athletes gather at Hopkinton High School. All right, it's Athletes Village. Lots of big tents, food, donuts, that's where all the porta potties are. They're not going to have that this year. Usually there are thousands of runners sitting around, laying around, just chatting. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun before the race, but that isn't going to be there. Also, they're not going to have waves this year to release the runners. They're actually going to have a rolling start so people aren't standing around in groups. Stay tuned to this channel because if it goes ahead, you can see firsthand what it's like. Okay, let's get into my week of training. It was a good week. I had some good workouts. Monday started off with 7.41 miles, very easy. Tuesday, very similar to Monday, 7.41 miles, very easy. Wednesday was a great day because I took a little trip down to the Ringling Bridge. Tuesday was by far my best workout of the week. I don't know why I just said Tuesday. Obviously the run had fried my brain. It was actually Wednesday. I knocked out 11.2 miles and the reason why it was the best run of the week is because I actually got some vert. See right behind me, the Ringling Bridge. It was 11.2 miles back and forth. Well, not just back and forth. I ran around the park at the end, but it was still a lot more vert than I've had in, I don't know, the last time I was here. I don't think I've been here since I test ran the Ultra Touring 4.5 Plush. Good to be back. I don't get to come here too often because I don't drive to go run. I usually just run right out my door, you know. Path of least resistance is usually the best. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Thursday was a great workout, 10.2 miles, and I kind of did a pyramid, warmed up for a couple miles, then I did 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute, 4 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute with 1 minute recovery in between. The efforts were kind of at threshold pace, but it was brutally hot. It was 76 degrees and 100% humidity. It was a tough one. Friday was 7.6 miles, very easy. Just going out before I start work, knocking out a couple easy miles. Saturday, I went out thinking I was going to run easy again, and I did for the most part. 8 miles on Saturday, but I did throw in 8 times 1 minute pickups with a 30-second recovery. So I did feel good at the end of that run. It wasn't like just going out and going through the motions with an easy run, just those 8 minutes of fast running really hit the spot. Made me feel good about the run. And then Sunday, wrapping up the week, it is a work day, so wrapping up the week with 8.2 miles. I know a lot of people like to go out and run long on Sunday. In an ideal world, I would too, but I'm happy I got in 8.2 miles, and I did kind of pick up the pace a little bit towards the end. It was a little cooler in Florida on Sunday. I just picked up the pace kind of in no man's land. Not really hard for a hard effort, but a harder, easy effort. Does that make sense? Wrapping up the week just over 60 miles. Pretty happy. 114.5 miles on the Peloton as well this week. Another good week in the bag. Remember, let me know about your week. How did it go? What are you proud of? What do you have coming up? All that jazz. Remember, I post new running videos at least twice a week. Be kind, be happy, run well. See you in a couple of days.